This is unlike anything we've ever encountered.
The Dark Lord is there, waiting for you.
Come, brothers! Let hell tremble before our might!
And I atone for my sins.
Doom Eternal: The Ancient Gods Part 2 is the second expansion to the brilliant first-person shooter, and the finale to the Doomslayer's story. In it, you play as a fully upgraded Slayer, with all weapons, mods, and equipment unlocked, except for the new things in this DLC, of course. The expansion was developed by id Software, and published by Bethesda Softworks, and is currently available for PC, PS4, and Xbox One for $19.99 as a standalone, or for $29.99 as part of the Year 1 Pass, which also includes the first Ancient Gods DLC. Also a quick note, I'm obviously going to say spoilers for both Doom Eternal and the Ancient Gods Part 1 in the story section of this review, so go ahead and skip that if you haven't finished either of those yet. The story picks up right where the first part of the Ancient Gods left off. Like literally, it's still the same cutscene. Basically, the Doomslayer resurrected the Dark Lord, tries to kill him but can't because we're still in the opening cutscene, and then heads off to find a way into Amora, the capital city of Hell, in order to confront the Dark Lord for the fate of all worlds. It's an awesome setup, and this DLC has cutscenes and documents that fill in a lot of gaps in the lore, including with the Conmaker and those shock reveals from the Ancient Gods Part 1. However, it does feel like Part 2 rushes the story to its conclusion just a bit too quickly, and some of the major revelations have definitely been controversial with fans, even if I personally found them both shocking and interesting to contemplate. Of course, there's also plenty of badass moments, and the ending is a genuine WTF moment, and succeeds in closing the book on the Slayer's story, at least for now. It's no secret that Doom Eternal has always been one hell of a looker, and this expansion only adds to that. The environments look absolutely fantastic, and have some of the best settings we've seen yet. And then there's the vistas and skyboxes, which might just be the best views in Doom history. I mean, just look at this shit! It's just awesome to look at, and I can't wait to see what views id cooks up next. This is still the Doom Eternal we all know and love, so obviously movement and combat still feel as awesome as ever. Now I'm not going to cover what all of the Slayer's gear does, since this DLC starts you as a fully loaded Slayer and assumes you already know what to do. However, I do want to talk about the new additions here, because they're pretty sweet. First up, there's the new meat hook grapple points scattered throughout the levels. These are fun to use, and add a new movement element to platforming and combat that I didn't even know I wanted. And then there's the Sentinel Hammer, which is easily my favorite part of this DLC. You get it really early on, and it feels freaking awesome to use, and is now my favorite weapon in the game. Don't get me wrong, I loved wielding the Crucible in the main game, but only getting a few uses out of it because I needed to find more ammo was pretty frustrating. The hammer solves this problem completely by being charged from both pickups found in the environment and from glory killing demons. It also encourages you to use both your flamethrower and freeze grenades by exploding affected demons into both ammo and armor, giving you even more ways to get resources back in the middle of a fight. It's just fun, and timing it right to cause maximum destruction makes you feel like a god. It also wouldn't be Doom without demons to fight. And this DLC adds new ones that change up combat in interesting ways, giving you even more to keep track of, even if they're all sadly just reskins of enemies from the main game. Ones like Stone Imps and Riot Soldiers give some weapons and weapon mods a specific use they didn't have before, while others like the Cursed Prowlers are awful and can just go die in a ditch. Seriously, just piss off! Overall, the new demons are good additions, and help to support the really interesting and difficult new fight setups. Speaking of fights, The Ancient Gods Part 2 has some of the toughest we've ever seen. This is especially true with the escalation encounters, which put all your skills to the test. Hell, the game literally warns you that the second fight in each encounter is optional, and for advanced slayers only. And it's not joking, be prepared for a hell of a fight. There's an escalation encounter in each level, and beating the first fight in one upgrades the Sentinel Hammer, while beating the second unlocks a pretty sweet looking cosmetic. There's 3 levels in Part 2, and each of them is pretty fun. The first and third levels in particular stand out, with awesome and unique fights in the surprisingly long World Spear, and the genuinely jaw-dropping scale of the set piece in Amora. The second level, Reclaimed Earth, is also fun to play through, even if it doesn't do anything super memorable. While both the story and combat build-up are awesome throughout this DLC, unfortunately the same can't be said of the final boss fight, which, for lack of a better word, is pretty awful. I'm not going to show it here cause spoilers, and it starts out pretty cool, but it does not live up to the bosses of the main game, or even the one in the first expansion. It's just way too drawn out and stops being fun really quickly, with repeating phases, annoying attacks, and too few opportunities to deal damage. It's a disappointing fight to end not only this DLC, but, for now at least, the Doom Saga as a whole. It wouldn't be Doom without an awesome soundtrack. And while Mick Gordon may no longer be at the helm, Andrew Hulshult and David Levy have done a great job at keeping the same heavy metal theme, while also bringing their own style to the table. Trust me, if you were worried you wouldn't be slaying demons to awesome tunes, you can put those fears to rest. This soundtrack is badass. Unfortunately, you still can't buy the soundtrack for either expansion at the time of review, which is a shame, as I'd nab these tracks in a heartbeat. The Ancient Gods Part 2 is a pretty good conclusion to a great saga. The story manages to both fill gaps and add some pretty shocking plot twists, even if those twists have proven to be controversial, and the combat loop is still the same Doom we know and love. While the new demons are sadly just reskins, the addition of the awesome Sentinel Hammer more than makes up for that, at least in my opinion. And the reskins definitely still have a good purpose. Overall, I had a lot of fun with this DLC, and if it does end up being the last of the Slayer we see for a while, I think I'm satisfied with that. If you're looking to see the end of the Slayer's journey, or just want more Doom levels to fight through, The Ancient Gods Part 2 just might be the expansion for you.
The corrupted priests forbid the use of this beacon.
Alright, and with that, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe for more videos coming soon, and until next time, remember, rip and tear until it is done.